Yes, this is me, Hudson George. Tonight, I'm doing a live video, but the video is about culture, not about politics. So in my last video, I talk about Grenada Carnival 2025. My topic has nothing to do with political affiliations. My topic is about history and traditions. So my last video was all about tolerance for our traditions. It has nothing to do with politics. And I give my history why we should protect and respect our traditions. So, whoever take it politically, they don't understand culture and the importance of every country having a culture and a tradition. And if you want to call us Grenadian, to be Grenadians, you have to go way back. Right? We were once called La Grenade when the French was here. When the British come, they call us Grenada. When the American came to Africa, occupied, they said Grenada. Right? So we Grenadians, right? So my life is all about culture. And it doesn't matter which government that is in power or political party, I will say what I say based on our history. So I think that we must respect our traditions, and as I said in my last live, Carnival come from the plantation, right? With the evolution of time, people get educated, urbanization grow, but the villages remain, right? And we have rural citizens. There is no rum runner in the country on mainland. So to enjoy a party on rum runner, you got to go to the south of the island. You go out on the ocean and party and come back. So we rural Grenadians, the way we party in pre-carnival is on the street. And if we tolerant and we accept that we have a pluralistic society and citizens don't infringe on your rights, we must respect our traditions. It's not something we're doing yesterday or last year. If we invoke all the dead people since in the 18th century and maybe less, 18th century, I'm saying. Oh, sorry, 19th century. 18th, 19th century. They might see, if they invoke some dead people and they see jab on the street of Grenada, they wouldn't be surprised, but they would be surprised to see electric lights and motor cars. They don't see horse and carriage, but they see jab. So my life was about traditions and culture. It has nothing to do with yellow and green or NNP and NDC. All I'm saying, as a Grenadian, we must protect and respect our culture, because if we don't do it, we're going to import other islands, country cultures or American cultures. That's all I have to say. So persons who political, if they take it political, they're wrong. You understand? I will always defend culture because I think culture is important. The way we speak, the way we cook, the way we treat people is part of our culture. So if you like foreign culture, you don't like your Grenadian culture. But it seems like the majority of people like it. So if the majority rule in terms of the culture, I'm not talking politics. Let us be tolerant and give them a space. And if they don't break the law in the village pre-carnivals, I don't have a problem with it, and nobody shouldn't have a problem with it. And basically, what we have police for? You have police to serve and protect. So the police who might be lying in his barracks or in his bunker idle on the weekend, taxpayers' money paying them. So if you have a job practice on the street to pre-carnival, is the police work to monitor it. And if people break the law, the police work is to arrest them. Right? But if they don't break the law, what they're doing is traditional. And as far as I know, going back into carnival, there were more cultural things used to be happening. They used to have stick fighting. I was a small boy. I see stick fighting, calendar, people playing calendar, stick fighting and beating pick a jump. Right? Now, we have more jab playing. Right? So, that's our culture. I remember once why I think culture is important. One girl that I went to school with in high school, once I saw her in the mountain like a Rasta, almost naked. And I said to myself, how come a girl who went to high school in the bush walking naked Rasta was a girl from St. Andrew, from the Paradise area? I asked somebody about her the last time. I think they tell me she died. I don't know how true it is. They told me she died. And the person I saw in the hills with was a very good musician. He lives in Hermitage for part of his life. And he also lived in Lafayette. I think he died too. He was my neighbor in Hermitage when he come to stay with his grandparents and his aunts and them in Hermitage. And he died too. So they died. The girl I went to school with in SAS, I know in school we were not in the same class. She was younger than me in a lower class. I see her in the hills, and I said to myself, it was surprising. I was going to pick up some nutmegs in where we have land in the mountain, right? And a couple of times I ask about her, and they tell me she died. And when I know I was a nice girl. So she follow imported culture that had her in the hills. She came down after, but somebody tell me she died. I don't know how true it is if she died, if it's true. But I know the musician, the drummer guy, died. Right? The drummer guy. He was a good drummer, one of the best in Grenada. So what I'm saying to you is, if young people enjoying themselves on the street playing jab, why should we make it look like if they're breaking the law? If they don't break the law, they don't do nobody nothing. Okay. This is my personal reason. Now it's Sunday night in Canada. The day is over. But today Sunday, earlier on, I could have buy paint and paint my face and cross dress or dress almost naked, a man or a woman, they could cross dress, paint their face and behave like clown in Canada and the police won't arrest them. The police won't arrest you. You understand? This is things I don't see on the train. People dressing. You don't know if them is man, if them is woman. And they paint up their face and they all, oh, you know what I mean? But police don't bother with people like that. Police starting to look for if somebody have a gun. Or you go to rob a store. So if we living in a pluralistic society, like Grenada are supposed to be, on Sunday, today Sunday, some people choose to go to church, whether they Catholic, Anglican, Methodist, Spiritual Baptist, Orisha worshiper, whatever religion they go to church today. That's their right. Now, young people, the hormones kicking. We all were youths once. They feel to have a good time when they reach 30 years, 25 years, 28. They mightn't be doing that, the next generation go do it. So it's a tradition. As I say in Canada, what I see, people dress all out. Right? And they could paint their face. If the police see you downtown, you paint up your face, or you look scary, they don't arrest you. You understand? So we have to evolve, and not because we have this thing, we follow our political party. Yes, you must love your political party and defend it, but you must respect people's rights in society. Grenada is supposed to be a pluralistic society that give citizens space. You understand? I don't believe nobody is breaking the law if they play a little mass in the village. That's my opinion. They break the laws if they damage people's property. But if they do it on the street and they don't do nobody nothing, why are we making big quarrel about that? And if you love your party in power, please don't try to escalate this thing, because you might be more making enemy to the party you love. That is what I was trying to say in my last life. So we must be tolerant to each other. Respect each other's space. Because as I said in my last life, Spice Mass Corporation launched Carnival. So if you launch Carnival, the steel pan ban going to be practicing. The steel pan ban is not more important than a jab ban or jab bans. Because most tourists or visitors who come to Grenada for Carnival, how many of them come to listen to steel band? The jab is the thing. So, and as I said in my last drive, you don't just get up and go and play jab. You got to practice, be fit. You and the James don't just get up and go on the track and run and win Olympic medals and diamond medals, diamond league medals, and world's competition athletic 400 meters medals for us. He practiced. So the jab have to practice. The shot have to practice. The Veco have to practice. And what I didn't say in my last life, Grenada was exhibiting culture in Japan, and I see a Japanese man in a Shatney clothes, and I'm from St. Patrick, and I'm proud to say that the people of St. Patrick preserve Shatney Mass. Other villages, other parishes play it too, but St. Patrick's is the home of the Shatney. We got to fix it historically, right? So And then the vehicle was there. I couldn't see the person who was in the vehicle clothes, but maybe the person was Japanese. I don't know. So we have to be proud of what we have. So if the vehicle clacking his foot in Victoria on Diamond Street on a Sunday morning, why we should make it politically? The vehicle didn't pelt a stone inside a person's store. So if you love your political party, whether you're NNP or NDC, whatever political party in power, you should more try to preach to people tolerance and respect instead of destroying your culture. Because no people cannot live without a culture. I will give you an next example. Now I just go up in on weekend, go up in out of Toronto, Canada. Sometimes almost 2 miles from Toronto, where Mennonites people live. And the Mennonites people, even though they live in isolation, they still have they have supermarket where they sell things for everybody. So even though they're religious and they isolate themselves, they need money too. You understand? So they can live without us, and we can live without them, because some people want food to buy produce from the Mennonites. They think it's healthier. So everybody needs each other. So Carnival is coming. One guy called me an idiot for my comment in the last thing. Because he have a political mind, he doesn't have a cultural mind. Like he paranoid. You could be educated and being ignorant. You have to respect people's space. If we want to have a good Grenada, every country and every people have a culture. I remember I have a very good photographic memory. I remember I was a little boy, and I saw a steel pan going down the street in Hermitage, Upper Hermitage, and they were singing, "Look back, Sparrow, have a gun. Look back, Sparrow, have a gun." I was a little boy, and I could still remember that. So that means, and those days was British colonialism, and people were doing that on the street. So why is it a big thing today? Rob, is it because some of us have 2 and 3 vehicles in our yard? We have more degrees hung up in our house. We have nicer houses. We forget our roots and culture. That is what I was addressing in my last life. And I was asking the government, the Prime Minister, to talk to the elders. It didn't have nothing to do with politics, because every elder is a library. You understand me? The elders are the library. So all who get up and cussing me like, like beehive. You have soldier bee guarding the hive. I wasn't damaging anything. I was just defending my culture and traditions. Because I know if we lose our culture and tradition, we're going to copy somebody else on. You understand what I'm saying? And if we stop use our local lingo, we go copy our other Caribbean island people lingo. And then what happens? We don't have a culture. And if you ask me what is the popular culture on mainland Grenada, I tell you it's jab jab. Because once you learn Carnival, jab jab go come out. Every society are upper class people and the lower class of people, and people who love certain things. You have different levels of people. Not everybody have the money to go in a posh place in the south of the island and spend $200 on drinks and nice thing, but every human being have his basic wants and needs. So young people, they in the 18, 16, 17 and older ones, they don't have money to go in posh clubs, so that's how they enjoy themselves for the carnival. Now, I think I want to tell Grenadian again, I'm a liberal thinker, but I'm not a right winger, and I'm not a petty bourgeois left winger. You understand? Who are a full of class and still a left winger. But I have left wing political values more than right wing political values, if you know me good. But I live in Toronto, so I learn to be tolerant. And if Caribbean people learn to be tolerant, we have in less crime and less people in jail. Learn to give people the space. For example, I was watching a town hall meeting in St. Mark, and people asking for place to bury their dead. They were asking the Prime Minister that. Now, they say charity begins at home. Some of our way of thinking, it comes from religion. Because, okay, what I observe, the people in St. Mark saying they don't have a place to bury their dead. Because the colonial religion own the big cemetery, the Anglican and the Catholic. In Anglican religion, if you don't go to church, the priest going to give you the service in the church if you die, but you can bury in the cemetery. It don't depend from you didn't vote for a political party, so they tell you can get a job. You understand? So some of we behavior, we learn it from the colonial church. Same thing in the Catholic Church too. And when I read about it on that newspaper, New Today Grenada, and I was saying that government need to look after all those things for society, so we could have a better society. You understand? And in countries where people don't respect the dead, if you don't have respect for the dead, you won't have respect for the living. You understand? So these are things we have to look at. We got to build a society for everybody. So the people who play jab, leave them alone if they don't commit a crime. But if a man have a gun up there to shoot a man, the police should arrest you. Or if you pelt a stone in a man's place, or somebody's place, so you go and you steal. But people are right to have pleasure. That was my life about protecting our culture, because the people without a culture is like a tree without roots. You have to have a culture. And we have a damn unique culture. Because when I listen to soca music in all the Caribbean islands, I've seen elements of Grenada culture in it now. Maybe 20 years from now, how the island might have an input. So if you don't like the culture that we have in Grenada, and you want to like other countries' culture, it's fine, but don't instigate to get rid of our culture, because I won't support you. And don't label me politically. It doesn't matter what government that is in power or say what I said in my last life, because I remember when Ali Gill used to be the big boy in Spice Mass Corporation, and they moved the job house to the Carolinas. I wrote article about that, and I said things about that. It wasn't NDC what it was in power. And I remember I wrote and say, how can you take the job house from from the rural village and put on the carriage. I believe culture must remain where it is. You can't move it. You understand? I criticize calling door on everybody before, and I'll call anybody I want you in culture, and you doing thing I don't like, I will say. So you have one of you people now they see everything political. But if they check my past record, go on now today and read some articles I wrote in the past. Go to a website I have called hudsonjudge.blog, and you go see things I wrote about what I'm saying now. So I'm not new to what I'm saying because you have a young government. I believe we must protect our culture, because your culture could make your country become popular. You get more tourists, you get more this, you get more that. I remember last summer, I was walking on a street called Van Road, Toronto, and a white woman and a white man was on a bike with a stereo, man. And you know what the music they were playing? A Tifa wine, and I like it. Loud, and the woman whining in the back of the van. Not the van, the back of the bike. A big bike with a stereo on it. And I was riding a bicycle, and I sing too. And they say, where you from? I say, I'm from Grenada. And they say, yeah, they enjoying the Grenadian music. I don't know if they were students from the university or they were tourists, but two white people and them singing it. A Tifa wine, and I like it. So, to all those who crying on with culture, what you want to import? Foreign culture? Look, I live in Toronto for most of my life, and I live in Grenada. And I always tell Grenadian brethren, I just watch basketball, but I don't like it. It's cricket I like. And they ask me why. I say, well, it's cricket I know. I seen a set of tall men playing a ball, and is over 6 foot, and tall people. You understand? I can come to like basketball like how I like cricket, or I like football. You understand? Everybody have a culture. That's how I am. So anyway, the last live I did is asking for tolerance and respect and recognition for our culture and traditions. And as long as the street job or the pre-job in the villages behaving themselves accordingly to the law, I think we should leave them alone. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, this is me, Hudson George. I go on till I come again.